based on the powers vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the University of the Virgin Islands, I hereby declare that the commencement exercises may now begin for the incomparable, optimistic, and passionate class of 2014. Because you are such a special class, there are so many special individuals who have come to participate and to witness your graduation. And I would like to introduce some of them to you at this time. First, the Honorable Gregory Francis, Lieutenant Governor of the United States Virgin Islands. The Honorable Donna M. Christensen, Congresswoman from the Virgin Islands. The Honorable Sean Michael Malone, Senate President of the 30th Legislature, and I would like all of the other members of the 30th Legislature who is in the audience to please stand as well. Without their support and the support of the governor and the lieutenant governor, we could not exist. Next, Mr. Alexander Moorhead, Chair of the UVI Board of Trustees, and I would ask all other members of the Board of Trustees to please stand as well. I say this not because they are my boss, but because the facts are that they are the most dedicated, enlightened, and professional governing board in the Virgin Islands. He will be introduced in greater detail later, but our speaker for this commencement exercise, Dr. Henry Louis Gates, Jr. He is accompanied on this trip by Dr. Marial Iglesias, a Cuban historian and accomplished writer in her own right. Welcome. And she is escorted by the person who not only makes graduation, but makes every day of my life special, Dr. Marilyn Braithwaite Hall. Our honorary degree recipient, the Honorable Ron DeLugo, because of illness, will not be able to join us, but we are honored that his daughter, Ambassadress Angela Maria DeLugo, is here to stand in for him. Our academic leader, interim provost Dr. Camille McHale, and we also have other members of the President's Cabinet who is here, and I would ask that they stand as well. And the reason we are here is because of the excellent students that we have at UVI, and 3 of them will be participating in this program and are on the platform. They are Marissa John Lewis, who provided the invocation, Natalie Richardson, who is the class speaker, and Aquila Dorsey, who will provide the benediction. One of the special honors for faculty members is to be chosen to be the marshal for commencement. You have heard from her, but she needs to be recognized again, Dr. Maxine Nunez. Our academic leaders, our deans, will be introduced by name later on by our provost, but I would ask that all of the deans of our schools and colleges who are on the platform to please stand so that they can be recognized. At UVI, we believe in our shared governance process, and therefore we have with us the leaders of our shared governance system. First, I would ask Dr. Lorna Youngwright, who is the faculty co-chair, to stand. But as she stands, I would ask all of our faculty members who are the ones who challenged, nurtured, and supported you through this journey to also stand. Dr. Nancy Morgan is the chair of the UVI Senate. I would ask her and all senators who are present to please stand as well. Our staff council is very important to us here at UVI, and the chair of the staff council, Ms. Raquel Santiago Silver, is present, but I would also ask that all staff members, administrators who are present, who work extremely hard every day to keep the engines moving of UVI, to please stand and be recognized. Our student government leaders are important to us as well because they are the voice that keeps us accountable for the things that we do. And so today we have Ms. Kimberly Smith, a student government president, and all members of the SGA, please stand and be recognized. It is always special at graduation to have presidents from other universities to come and support us, and we are very delighted and honored that Dr. Carl Dawson, president of H. Lavity Stout Community College in the British Virgin Islands, is here, and we would ask for him to stand and be recognized. As has been stated, this is the 50th commencement of the University of the Virgin Islands. And we are honored that someone who was at the first graduation and graduated in that program is here. I would ask Mr. Ruel Charles, class of 1965, the first graduating class of UVI, to please stand. And now for the real special people. I know you think you made it here all by yourself. I think you believe that you pulled yourself up by your bootstraps. But the reality is that there were a group of people who gave you your boots and gave you your straps and helped you pull yourself up. Would all of the parents, loved ones, family members, and friends of our graduates please stand and be recognized. And I finally welcome all of those who are not here, but is listening to this ceremony through our own radio station that is streaming live, WUVI. Thank you for listening. It is with great excitement and respect that I welcome all of you to the 2014 commencement exercises of the University of the Virgin Islands. This is a very special class, and we are honored to provide you with the recognition that you so rightfully deserve. I have had the privilege of working with some of the members of your class, and they have touched my heart in a special way, and I will never forget you. But each one of you has a special story and journey that if we knew all of the details, we would be amazed by how much you have overcome and how committed you were to your success. You are special because you are graduating at the 50th commencement ceremony of the University of the Virgin Islands. For some universities, that is a short history, but based on what this university and our graduates have achieved during this time, it is a significant landmark to embrace and celebrate. You are special because you have already demonstrated that you care about those who will come after you. 60% of you have already made a contribution this year to the university, and this exceeds the record-setting achievement of all of our alumni last year, where 51% of them gave to the university. You are already a leader among the distinguished group that you will soon enter. You are also special because this class has the largest number of engineers graduating through the 3-2 program than we have ever had. We also have 3 graduates who have participated in the joint program with Boston University Medical School. And one of those graduates is the daughter of our dean and our campus, our director of campus operations, which means it's all in the family. The engineering graduates who participated in the 3-2 program and the graduates who participated in the Boston University Medical School program is living proof that you can explore the world by staying home at UVI. I hope your experience here has taught you that your dreams can come true if you believe in them and water them with your sacrifices and commitment. I hope you understand now at a much deeper level that your future is within your hands. Just make sure that your hands are being held by a positive force greater than you. And finally, I hope you understand that this university was created for you so that you could have the experience that you have just had. And now you must go out and create something that allows the dreams of others to be fulfilled as well. Sidney Harris once stated that the whole purpose of education is to turn mirrors into windows. UVI has done its work well if you aren't just looking at what stands behind you, but that you are able to see more clearly what lies ahead of you, even if others can't see it. At this special moment, we want you to peek into the mirror of the past few years and be thankful and joyous for what you see. But more importantly, we want you to look into the window of your endless potential and know that you are destined to change the world. Congratulations.